What if the more you chase, the faster she runs? Imagine this. You give her flowers. You send sweet messages. You always say yes. But she pulls away. Why? Because you're giving too much. You're chasing. You're trying to prove you're enough. But here's the truth. A man who chases loses himself. And when you lose yourself, you lose her respect. Stop chasing. Start living. Think about it. When you're always available, always giving, always there, she doesn't have space to miss you. She doesn't feel the thrill. She doesn't feel the mystery. But when you focus on your life, your goals, your growth, you become a man with purpose. And that is attractive. The power of absence. Absence isn't about playing games. It's about living fully. When you're not always around, she wonders, what's he doing? Why isn't he texting? Who is he becoming? This curiosity builds attraction. Because you're not her whole world. You're a man with his own world, and she wants to be part of it. Self-worth comes from within. You don't need her approval. You don't need her validation. Your worth isn't based on her attention. It's based on your actions, your discipline, your integrity. When you know your value, you don't chase, you attract. Scarcity creates value. Think about gold. It's rare. It's valuable. Now think about you. When you're always available, you're common. But when you prioritize yourself, your time becomes precious, and she values what is rare. Emotional mastery is strength. Feelings are natural, but control is powerful. When you stay calm during chaos, when you respond, not react, you show strength, and women are drawn to strength. Confidence is built, not bought. Confidence isn't about cars or clothes. It's about competence. When you master skills, when you overcome challenges, you build real confidence. And that confidence is magnetic. Live for purpose, not approval. Your mission comes first, not her texts, not her opinions. When you live with purpose, you become unstoppable. And she wants to join a man on a mission. What if the secret to making her want you isn't being closer, but going further? Yes, I said it. What if you've been lied to your whole life? They told you, be there all the time. Call her more. Make her feel like a queen. But what if that's what makes her lose interest? What if the path to her heart starts when you walk away from needing her? Not to hurt her, not to play games, but to find your soul again. She falls for mystery, not predictability. Listen, her brain is wired for curiosity. It's not just what you give that matters. It's what you hold back. When you tell her every thought, text her every minute, explain every move, you erase the mystery. But when you're focused on your mission, when you let her wonder, you become a mystery she wants to solve. Her attraction is biological, not emotional first. She doesn't fall for words. She falls for energy. And your energy speaks loud when you walk with purpose. Her brain reads your behavior, your posture, your calm. She feels safe with a man who's not shaken. So the more you anchor yourself in your mission, the more she's drawn in, without even knowing why. The male brain builds. The female brain feels. You build empires. She feels energy. And when you're always giving, always proving, always pleasing, you become emotional. You trade your frame for feelings, and that makes her feel like she's the man. But when you're still, when you're grounded, when you move with intention, she relaxes into her femininity, because finally, she feels your strength. Let the fire of purpose burn brighter than the fire of desire. Desire will make you weak. Purpose will make you powerful. You can want her, but don't need her. The man she dreams about isn't the one who gives her the world. It's the man who's building one of his own, one brick at a time, one goal at a time, one mission at a time. Abundance destroys desperation. When you believe there's only one woman for you, you become desperate. But when you know your value, when you know your path, you stop fearing loss. And that peace, that calm power, it's addictive. She can't explain it, but she feels it. Because men who have options don't chase, they choose. What if saying nothing says everything? Most men think power comes from words, from explaining, from proving, from convincing. But true power, it lives in silence. Not the silence of weakness, the silence of presence. A silence so deep, she hears your value without a sound. Because when a man stops talking and starts embodying, she feels it in her bones. Her mind can't ignore a man who's not chasing her. Let me tell you a truth. The moment you stop chasing, she starts wondering, why isn't he texting me? Why is he so calm? Why does he feel different than the rest? That wonder, that curiosity, that's the doorway to her desire. She can't crave what's always in her hand, but when you step back to lead your life, she feels the absence like a storm. Absence isn't distance, it's discipline. This is not about ghosting. It's not about games. It's about respect for yourself. Every time you create space, you build weight. Weight in her mind, weight in her heart, because she knows you don't disappear to get attention. You disappear to build yourself. And that is rare. The male mystery activates the female mind. Her brain is built to search for signs, search for meaning, search for safety. But when she figures you out too soon, the game ends. Not because she's cruel, but because her biology loses interest. So don't overshare, don't overtext, don't over-explain. Let her discover you. Let her chase the fire. She studies your silence more than your words. Your silence says, I am not controlled by need. I move when I choose. I speak when it matters. That kind of presence, it changes her chemistry. She'll think of you more when you say less, because every message she doesn't get is a message she feels. The most attractive man is not unavailable. He's unbothered. Unbothered by drama. Unbothered by delay. Unbothered by rejection. And that calm, that's what sets her soul on fire. Because women aren't drawn to loud men. They're drawn to solid men. Men who don't break when tested. Men who don't flinch under pressure. Next chapter will take you deeper. You'll learn how emotional self-control isn't about being cold. It's about being unshakable. And once you master it, women will feel something they can't explain. Respect, desire, devotion. What if your power comes from what you don't feel? Listen closely. What if I told you that the men who win the hearts of women aren't the ones who feel everything, but the ones who know what to do with what they feel? Pain? They don't run. Rejection? They don't crumble. Uncertainty? They walk straight through it. They don't get trapped in their heads. They lead from their soul. That's not cold. That's controlled. The man who controls himself controls the room. There is something deep in every woman's mind that watches how you handle your storms. When things go wrong, do you panic or do you breathe? Do you react fast or do you respond with calm? If you lose your peace every time she pulls away, she sees a boy, not a man. But if you stay centered, even when your heart shakes, she'll feel something ancient. Respect. Emotional mastery is masculine energy. Stoic men don't avoid feelings. They face them. They stand in the middle of pain like a mountain. And they don't beg. They don't break. They don't try to fix what's not theirs to fix. They let go with grace. They wait with honor. They speak with power. That emotional strength, it awakens the deepest part of a woman's mind. Because when you lead your own emotions, she trusts you can lead her too. She doesn't trust words, she trusts presence. You can say all the right things, write sweet texts, send flowers. But if your inner world is falling apart, she feels it. She sees the man who says, "I'm fine," but breathes like a boy who's afraid to lose her. That gap, that's the reason she loses attraction. But when you say little, and your energy says everything, she comes back without knowing why. The winner isn't the most emotional, it's the most in control. The world says, show her how much you care. Yes, care. But don't bleed for approval. Don't hand her your power and ask for love in return. Stand tall. Let your emotions serve you, not rule you. That is the essence of the Stoic path. Feel deeply, but act wisely. And when she sees you calm in chaos, she will follow you into any storm. What if she's not looking for you, but the fire you carry? Listen to this and let it hit deep. She's not falling for your face. She's not chasing your muscles. She's not obsessed with your words. She's watching one thing above all else: your direction. Where are you going? Why are you going there? And do you even know? That's what pulls her in like a magnet. Not the man who wants her, but the man who wants more from life than just her. A man with purpose is a storm she can't escape. A man on a mission is dangerous, not to hurt anyone, but because nothing can stop him. He walks different. He speaks like time is precious. He's not waiting around to be picked or chosen. He's choosing the life he wants. And guess what? That energy, it electrifies the female brain. It triggers a feeling she can't explain. A need to be close to you. A hunger to be part of your world. If she feels like she's your everything, she'll give you nothing. Let this sink in. When a woman senses she's the center of your world, she feels pressure, not love. But when she sees you're already lit up from within, when your days are full, when your heart is fed by your mission, she stops trying to run your life and starts trying to run toward it. The secret is scarcity, not strategy. You don't need tricks. You don't need moves. You don't need to act mysterious. You just need to live full, because when your life is already rich, you naturally become scarce. Not by ghosting, not by pretending, but by being unavailable to nonsense. Your time becomes gold, your attention becomes earned, your love becomes sacred. And that's what flips a switch in her brain. She doesn't want easy, she wants worthy. Women follow purpose like flowers follow the sun. It's ancient, it's instinct. A man walking toward his purpose is a man walking with God. And that path, it shines. She can feel when a man is building something higher than comfort. She can see when his life isn't built around her, but around a divine goal. That's who she'll crave. That's who she'll respect. That's who she'll never forget. What if the quietest man in the room is the one she wants the most? Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a lion chase approval? Beg for attention? Try to prove he's a lion? Number, he just is. He sits in the shade, calm, still, sure. And every creature around him feels it. That, my brother, is confidence. And that's what drives her wild. True confidence is silent, and it's deadly attractive. Fake confidence is loud. It brags, it flexes, it tries to win. Real confidence? It doesn't even speak. It radiates. It comes from knowing who you are, what you can do, and that no one, not even her, gets to define your value. This is what makes her chase you, not because you begged, but because you stood still in your worth. Approval is a trap. Escape it, and she'll follow you anywhere. If you're always asking, did I say the right thing? Does she like me now? Was I enough? Then you're not living. You're performing. And the moment she senses you're performing for her, the game is over. But the second she sees that her opinion doesn't shake you, that you don't crumble when she pulls away, now she's interested. Because now she feels it. You're not chasing her energy. You're protecting yours. Self-approval is the fire that never dies. When a man accepts himself fully, his mistakes, his flaws, his greatness, he becomes a fortress, untouchable, unshakable. He doesn't wait for people to clap for him. He claps for himself. He doesn't wait to be chosen. He already chose himself. And when a woman meets a man like that, she can't stop thinking about him because he brings a peace and a power that no one else does. Remember this truth. Confidence is built, not bought. You don't need better looks. You don't need more money. You don't need fancier words. You need one thing, proof. Prove to yourself that you can handle life, that you show up, that you follow through, that you lead yourself even when no one is watching. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build that proof. And every time you do, her mind starts whispering, there's something different about him. On the next chapter, we'll dive into the rarest skill a man can master, and why the man who controls his emotions can control any room, any moment, and any relationship. Get ready to become the calm inside her chaos. What if the man who feels the most needs to show it the least? What if I told you the man who makes her feel the deepest things is the man who doesn't lose control of his own? You see, we've been lied to. We were told to open up more, to show our feelings, to let it all out. But here's the truth. A man who can't master his emotions is a man the world and a woman can never trust. Emotional chaos is not power. Calm is. You ever seen a wildfire? It burns bright, loud, fast. But then it's gone. Now picture a mountain. It says nothing. It doesn't move. But it shapes the wind, the sky, the storms. You want to be the mountain. Because when you hold your ground, when you breathe slow in chaos, when you choose response over reaction, she feels safe. She feels curious. She feels drawn, not because you said a lot, but because you didn't let the moment own you. The man who stays calm wins twice. Most men argue. They yell. They chase after every little thing she says. They fall into her test, but not you. Not anymore. You don't rise just because your feelings flare. You don't chase just because she pulls away. You don't explain yourself every 5 seconds. You lead. With silence, with stillness. And that stillness, it drives her crazy. Because she can't figure you out. And now, she wants to be the eye in the storm. Her emotions might swirl. She might push, pull, cry, test. But if you are the same man, strong, clear, unmoved, every single time, she will respect you more than anyone else in her life because you've become the thing she didn't know she was searching for, a man who can feel emotion without being ruled by it. Master this, and you'll never chase again. Let them call you cold. Let them call you mysterious. Because while others are reacting, breaking, folding, you are building peace, power, presence, and the woman who truly matters. She won't just see it. She'll feel it. What if she doesn't want to be the center of your world, but just wants to stand beside a man who has one? Listen closely. Here's the greatest lie they told you. Make her your everything. They told you that love means losing yourself, that devotion means forgetting your mission, that the way to a woman's heart is to place her above your own purpose. And that lie? It's destroyed more men than war. A man without purpose is a ship without a sail. You wake up, you text her, you plan your whole day around her. You drop your goals, you cancel your work, you become her shadow, and guess what? She doesn't love you for it. She resents you. Because deep down, she wanted a leader, not a follower. A king, not a servant. A man with a mission, not a man who made her the mission. Women follow purpose, not desperation. Let me give you the truth most men never hear. She falls in love with the man who's going somewhere, not the man who's standing still, waiting, hoping, begging for her attention. She wants to join your life. She doesn't want to become your life. And when she sees you deep in your purpose, eyes focused, heart full, feet grounded, she begins to wonder, who is this man? And why does being near him make me feel safe, small, and inspired all at once? Build a life she can walk into, not a cage to lock her in. You don't need to control her. You don't need to chase her. You don't need to check her phone or fight her moods. All you need is your direction. Because the man who knows where he's going will never be afraid of who leaves. And that energy, that grounded strength, it draws her back every time. Don't abandon your mission to protect her insecurities. You will meet women who say, "You work too much. You're too focused. You care more about your dream than me. That's a test. A test to see if your purpose is real or if it's just a costume. Do not break. Do not shrink. Stand tall in the fire and say, my path is not up for discussion. Because the one who matters will respect that. She'll rise to meet it. Ever notice how she wants you more when you're harder to reach? Let me ask you something powerful. Why do diamonds cost more than dirt? Why do people line up for something rare but ignore what's always there? Because scarcity is power. And the same law that rules the earth rules attraction too. If you're always there, you become invisible. She calls, you answer. She texts, you drop everything. She says, jump, you say, how high? You think being available wins her heart. Number. It drains your power, it makes you common. And women don't chase what feels common. They chase mystery. They crave strength. They fall for the man who's not easy to reach. She needs to feel your absence to miss your presence. Here's what no one teaches. Being present all the time kills desire. It sounds nice, but it removes the fire. Desire is born in space, in the distance, in the question, not the answer. When she doesn't know what you're doing, where you're going, what you're thinking, her mind starts to run wild. And that mystery, that space, that silence, it drives her crazy. In the best way. You're not meant to be everywhere. You're meant to be valuable. Scarcity isn't about being cold. It's about being focused. It's about building, growing, moving forward. And because your time is rare, it becomes precious. She starts to value your time. She listens more. She gives more. She chases harder. Why? Because you're not just a man anymore. You're a standard, and standards change lives. You don't need to disappear. You just need to live. Live your life with purpose. Fill your days with movement. Let her feel the weight of your absence when you're gone. Not because you're punishing her, but because you're busy building your kingdom. That's what turns heads. That's what makes her crave you like air. Not because you're needy, but because you're needed by the mission that drives you. What if the strongest man is the one who feels everything but controls it? Listen to this. The storm is loud. The wind screams. The rain crashes down. But the mountain, it doesn't flinch. It doesn't run. It doesn't shout. It just stands. Still, silent, strong. You must become the mountain, because real attraction, the deep kind that pulls her soul toward yours, it doesn't come from chasing, begging, flexing, or bragging. It comes from emotional control. If she can shake your center, she can't trust it. Let's be clear. She doesn't want a man who explodes when things go wrong. She doesn't want a man who sulks when she pulls away. She doesn't want a man who panics when she goes quiet. She wants a man who's calm. She wants a man who stands tall when everything feels like it's falling apart. Why? Because that calm feels safe. That stillness feels powerful. That presence makes her feel held, even when you say nothing at all. Don't hide your emotions. Master them. You're not a robot. You're not made of stone. You'll feel pain, fear, doubt, desire. But don't let those feelings drive you. Let them serve you. You don't control emotions by burying them. You control them by training them. A soldier doesn't stop feeling fear. He marches through it. You don't become powerful by being numb. You become powerful by feeling everything and still choosing peace. Women fall for the man who chooses stillness in chaos. Emotional mastery isn't silence, it's strength. It's the ability to sit in discomfort without begging for relief. It's the power to walk away with love in your heart, but purpose in your spine. It's choosing the high road, even when the low road is begging for your attention. And that makes you rare. That makes you magnetic. That makes her crave you in a way she can't explain. You are the standard now. The man who no longer chases, but leads. The man who no longer needs, but builds. The man who can stand in fire and still breathe with peace. She doesn't fall for your looks, or your money, or your charm. She falls for your energy, your stillness, your quiet strength. Become that man, and watch her soul reach for yours without a single word spoken. The final call. Now you understand. It's not about chasing. It's not about playing games. It's not even about her. It's about becoming you, the grounded, rare, untouchable version of you. Let her feel your absence. Let her taste your presence. Let your calm shake the world around her. And remember, the man who owns himself owns the world. Now go. Become that man.